Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance out of LoneStarMopars.com, and we've got a pretty cool video for you today. We're going to be taking a look at some Hex Plus keys from Wera. Now, I still call these Hex keys, Allen wrenches. I guess in like the more metric or German tool side of things, are L keys. All the same thing to me. But I will tell you right now, until recently, and with the odd piece of furniture here and there, everything I do is SAE. I'm into old cars. Everything was, standard. With the late model Challenger, things have changed. There's more and more metric fasteners, and that kind of throws everything for a loop when you're used to dealing with 69 Chargers and Dusters and old Mopar stuff, right? So, I have been slowly having to expand things over to modern fasteners and metric fasteners, modern being things along the lines of Torx, bits and sets. So, once upon a time, the first ever set of tools I got was the Craftsman Rally box over there, and it had a bunch of hex keys in it, and they were literal hex keys. And for the most part, I never even opened the metric set. But over time, with the SAE set, I would find there were sizes I needed differently, or in this case, this is where I wanted the ball end. These are just OEM, probably came from Summit or AutoZone or somewhere that I needed them in a pinch for. And then after that, I'd run into situations where I needed the bits, and we took advantage of that. But in terms of the metric stuff, it was always left like this, literally like that. If I needed a metric hex key, this is what I'm stuck working with. As you can see here, you basically have 1.5 through 4.5 and that are short, and then you have 1.5 through 7 that are long. So we've got quite a few keys in here, probably 15 to 20, and the problem is if you're not getting one of the 2 or 3 biggest keys, it is a nightmare. Good luck. Let's say that you want the 2mm or 2.5mm. Have fun. Good luck finding it. If you'll note, these are all black. There's no color. There is nothing special that would differentiate these. So again, like I said, the first 3, the biggest sizes, they come out great. The branding on these, let me see if I can find it. I have to lift it up to my head. Right about there, you can kind of see the Craftsman, kind of. It's not going to show up too great, but trust me, it's there. And like, you can have instructions that say, hey, you're going to need a 7mm hex key. And if you don't have this pouch to even know that the biggest one is in fact 7mm, it's going to be a nightmare identifying that thing, right? That's literally all I have with metric. I never went ahead and pulled in a set like this one, which the nicest thing about these is not necessarily their better quality, it's just that they're stored in a way that you can find them and quickly identify the size, right? So I had a situation here recently, and particularly with those Wera Torx bit sets where they've got like the little adjustable set screw and you can swap the bits out if you want to. And it took me an eternity off camera to find the frickin', I think it was 2.5 or 2mm key. And I got sick of that, man. And I said, something's got to change. I'm running into more and more situations where I need metric hex keys. And what is the solution I selected? It is right here. Now, I very nearly went with some Wera stuff from KC Tool, but I was buying something from Amazon and I was trying to get to free shipping, and I was like, oh, what do they have for X keys? Turned out this was a really good deal. I got it for about 30 bucks and change. This is usually around $50 for this set. It is a 9-piece set. It is going to rock your socks off. Part number here going to be 950 SPKL 9SM Multicolor. This is their Hex Plus line. Now they do have a holding feature, and I believe theirs is going to be like a detent ball, and then Wera's is sort of like a spring clip, sort of like we saw how the Torx bits are held in the socket. If you're interested in that stuff, I would advise that you check out German Tool Reviews. It's a website and a YouTube channel. The dude did a head-to-head on them, and that's probably going to provide you the information you want to see and know to make a selection. But the advantage here with the Hex Plus, as you can see, the big issue when you use anything hex-based, and this is probably why people have gone to Torx, hex stuff just strips out, and it does it all the time at the most inconvenient times, and there's very few people around their shop, particularly that are automotive based, that stock socket cap screws. Alright, so if you round one out, you might be able to get it out, but then when you try to get it in, it's a problem, and the knurling only goes so far, and then you have to torque it down. Something like this on your socket and torque wrench is going to slip, it's just a bad setup. And so something like this, the ball end, that's sort of why I picked these up, to prevent from rounding the corners out. This was sort of, I guess, high tech to me when I was like in college or something. And right here, they've sort of taken that and improved upon it. But they take it easy, tool finder, ergonomic sleeve, and of course the ball end. So this one is going to include one piece each of 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10. Now there's a lot of overlap here with this set, but I kind of find it interesting, like why the Craftsman used a 7mm. It had 1.5, 2. So that matches, 2.5 matches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has 3, 4. I wonder why 7 was skipped in this set. Like, the Craftsman stops at 7, so it's understandable that it wouldn't have anything larger. But I don't know. Like I said, nothing I've really done has been metric until recently. And it really does throw a. I hate nothing more than being in the middle of something. Man, that's glorious. And being in the middle of a project and having to stop because I don't have the freaking tool, it just sucks. Now, this is very simple, very clean packaging, so that is much appreciated on my front. But I gotta tell you, these just look awesome. And I am not so sure anything plastic based I'm not a fan of. I'm honestly not a fan of this. The cool thing about this is it doesn't have the clip to break. Now the clip is super trick. You'll see it here in action in just a second. But it's one of those things, this, you know, it might start to wear over time, and, you know, the tool sliding in and out, the friction, it just opens up the bore and it doesn't grip as well. But with this one, we've got another weak point, and again, if with it being plastic, that's why I'm concerned. If this was like aluminum or something, I'd be fine with it. But I gotta tell you, is that not a sight to see? If you are like me and you have minimal hex keys, right? And you come in and what you're working with is one of the smaller sizes. You got to dump them all out, you got to sift through them, and then you either have to strain your eyes to read the tiny, tiny, tiny print on them, or you just have to blindly start stabbing them in place and seeing which one fits. This solves that, and it does so beautifully. So these are made in the Czech Republic, if you did not know, but this is the Hex Plus branding there, and then the Wera logo. Don't know that you can see Hex Plus. I think it shows up there for you. But note that they do have this labeled 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, and 5 is up front. On the back side, they have actually labeled them 6, 8, and 10. So the big advantage to me, I'm gaining the 8 and the 10, which I did not have. But the other thing is I can see these. They look good. They've got, it turns out to kind of be a comfort deal. I pulled out the 5 at work. But let me show you how this clip works, right? So you're like, man, I kind of want to open that up. Well, you just do that. Now, they do have the numbers here as well, so 10, 8, 6, and then again we've got 5 descending all the way down to the 1.5. But the beauty of this, let me slide the big bad 8 or 10 out, I should say. Look at the head on that guy, right? That's pretty impressive in and of itself. It's a very good steel. Wera Hex Plus 10. Not only is it color-coded, not only is it printed in the case where you can reference it there, both sides of the sleeve feature the branding and the size, and that's very, very nice. Bottom end here, it's going to be more of a ball end style, and like I said, I've got high hopes for this set. Even if it's not that great, if it doesn't last super long, you know what it does accomplish for me? I can identify these things. Like whenever I bring in, say, another socket rail set that's adjustable, I can swap the bits out. If it's a case where I need a 3mm hex key, right, for the set screw, what does that mean to me with this? Well, I've got to dump them all out on the mat or on a table or something, workbench, sift through them just like I've described, and here I can just come in and I can say, well, there's our 3 right here, sort of in purple, and I pull this guy out of the way, slide it out. Now, over time, one of my concerns is that's a pretty snug fit. I don't know if that is going to maybe slip the writing, kind of smear it over time. I would hope not, but honestly I could see that happening. Even if it does, you still have the container to rely upon, and it's still going to be color-coded for easy access and readability. They all have the exact same design here. They look like a very high-quality set, and just kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about, when I go to put this back in, you'll note the resistance that I encounter. And it's a very tight fit, which is good. It's going to keep them in place, but at the same time, I don't know. Is it going to wear this down? It didn't on the initial out and in cycle, that's for sure. So that is a good sign. If they were crap, if they were like Harbor Freight trash, we would have slid that thing out and it would have already smeared it. You know what I'm saying? But these just, they feel great. They look good. In all honesty, this is the weakest link, just in its plastic tab here. Or I guess kind of like a rubber. It'll probably last, but it will sever eventually, particularly if it's used frequently. To lock it in place, there's just this tab you can see here under my index finger. Slide it in, green clips it down. I think I'll probably do my best to keep it closed, and then if it's a 6, 8, or a 10, I'll spin it to that side. If it's one of the small ones, I'll just move these out of the way. I'm well accustomed to already doing that. I mean, you can see the set here. All the sets at work that are not like in a foldable pocket deal, they're in the same type of design, so that's nothing new, no inconvenience on that front. But man, that is so nice. Being able to come in, quickly identify, again, you can see the branding 5, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5. If you orient the heads all facing this direction, you're going to have that. Similarly, since it's printed on both sides, I could orient the heads that direction and we could read it there too. So both preferences, whatever they may be, facing in, facing out, you are covered. Price on those was phenomenal. The SAE set, which now that I've seen these and experienced them in hand, I think that's on my short list to pick up because, again, it's going to be real nice. You can kind of see the wear. Like this 3/16 has been used an awful lot. It's already kind of like rounding it out, and then if that gets rounded using the, you know, on the fasteners, you're gonna have problems and it's just gonna be a nightmare. You can also see this is way more loose compared to the Wera. This will happen to the Wera one as well, because again, 3/16 has been used a ton. Right, you don't want that happening. Around the shop it'd be fine, but if you do anything mobile, it's going to be a pain in the butt. I do have a couple of other, I know SAE, I'm not sure if they're Hex, but they're like in a Harbor Freight multi thing that was just super cheap for one item I needed. And I've avoided using those because I was just afraid they would round everything out. That said, for the price, I feel like these are going to be fantastic additions to the toolbox. They're going to look awesome, if nothing else. They're going to be super easy to identify, and I think we should get a great life cycle out of them. Let's see if there's anything important about them. High quality L key set with color-coded convenient plastic sleeve. This ensures that the tool is quickly to the hand, and the ergonomic and pleasant handle is easy on the hands, even at low temperatures. Let's go ahead. Can we read more? Yes, we can. The wear-resistant clip material ensures secure storage of the L keys as well as simple removal. So they're saying that this is wear-resistant. Now, if you're using these on the daily, I don't know. Talk to me in a year and let's see how it's doing, but it's at least something that they apparently factored in when they engineered the product. Hex Plus profile of the L keys as well as simple room. Let's see here. Greater contact surface in the head of the screw. The notching effect is therefore reduced to a minimum, and damage to the screw head. I don't know who worded this, but I don't like how they typed it out. It's like very sketchy. The ballpoint on the long arm allows dependable working even in difficult situations. Yeah. The black laser surface treatment provides outstanding surface protection even against corrosion and a long service life. Laser engraved and thereby wear-resistant size markings on the L keys. I don't know if that's direct, if it was translated poorly, if it's something Amazon did, but man, that was tough to read. So the L keys for hexagonal socket screws. Hex Plus allows socket head screws to live longer. That's an interesting terminology, live longer. That kind of gives you an idea. It was probably translated by someone. Black laser for high corrosion protection and long service life. Wear-resistant clip, pretty much the same thing. 4.7 out of 5 stars on these. It was first listed in 2013, so there's been a lot of times for people to have bad experiences, and it clearly has not happened. So, I like it. I'm very excited to put these to use, in particularly the next time I have to go find one of the small ones. Like, let's be honest, I mean, to the credit of Craftsman and everyone that's done them like this, if it's one of the 3 biggest sizes, like the 10, 8, and the 6 there, you can get them out real easy. It's just when you have them all clustered together for storage purposes, and then you have to get like one of the smaller ones or the mid sizes, That's the pain, that's where you waste time, and this is a huge boost to efficiency, confidence, you don't get frustrated, and they look awesome. So, and in all honesty, this is just like, it seems like a very, very high quality, definitely a little bit more high quality than anything else I've owned, so I'm excited about that as well. But first chance I get, I'm going to be using these next time I swap around the bits on the VHA socket set. With our Torx bits, I'll go ahead and do that. The SAE one is pretty much the same thing. I think it's 9 pieces, don't hold me to that, but instead of coming in this clip, it actually comes in a pouch, sort of like a nylon fold over, kind of like a multi-tool type of a thing, which I'm not so sure that I wouldn't actually prefer that, just because even though they sound and speak confidently about this being non-wear and built for long life, I think it's going to have problems. I don't know when, but eventually it will. And, if not in my lifetime, in my nephew's, I'm sure that's going to break, and it's going to be a sad day. But the pouch with the SAE one, I think, is a little bit better. And you can apparently buy that separately. Again, all that was highlighted when German Tools did either the unboxing or the comparison on these. But I do want to mention again, there is one with a detent. It's sort of like a holding feature. Truth be told, I don't really encounter that many situations at work or around the shop here where I have to worry about that. I'm typically going top down, right, and so I don't really need the holding feature. But if I did, I might bring in the VHAs just because I have a little bit more confidence in that setup. But these are awesome for 30 bucks. Yeah, it's expensive, I get it. Hex keys are usually, you know, dirt cheap. They're given away, they're thrown away. And to Wera's credit, if you just want something like this from Wera in like a little simple clip type of a design that you can hang on a wall or something, they're oftentimes cheaper. Like I probably paid 10 bucks or something for this. Wera has a very similar size set and a very similar styled holder. You can get them from KC Tool for under $5, which is crazy when you consider that it's made in the Czech Republic and sent over here. It's not like they were cast in Alabama type of thing and it's just, you know, shipped on down the road. That's the same quality stuff here, just from a ridiculously low price point. So if you're concerned about that, you want to jump into it lightly, go that route. If you like what you see, if you've experienced good things from them, step up to this. But or maybe even this with the holding feature would be an option for you. I think the holding feature, you're looking at sticking on like another 10 bucks or something. These would typically retail for around 50. I got them for 30. I think KC Tools usually like 46, 48ish. Amazon, for whatever reason, the price was slashed. And when I saw that, I jumped on it fast because it's something that I'm pretty confident. When you're getting it for like 2/3 of the list price, that's a pretty good deal. So I'm excited to use them, see if that wears off over time. That would be sad and annoying. I think you could eliminate that completely if you ditched this and got the nylon pouch. I'm not quite sure what that costs. I don't think it would be too much. But what I will plan to do when funds allow, I'm so impressed by these, we will pull the trigger on the SAE set that comes in the pouch. If we like the pouch, I'll probably look into bringing one in for those, possibly even these. It'll depend how the pouch is laid out, but these are fine. They've gotten me through life with my minimal metric experiences. It's just they're a pain in the butt to actually get the mid-range or these small ones. Small ones, when you dump them out, you can usually sift them out, but again, if you need like a 2.5, 3, 4, have fun. Make sure you set aside plenty of time to find what you're looking for. This solves that problem. It eliminates it. The quality on these seems phenomenal, at least here initially. Can't wait to put them in use, see how they hold up. If you have used these, let me know what you think of them. If you've picked up their holding feature ones with a little detent, let me know how you like those. Have they been of the same quality? Has that worn out already? Do you love it? Would you recommend that people go that route and just spring for them initially? Whatever inputs you have, particularly if it is first-hand, by all means share it. That's kind of the goal here, help people out and make the best initial purchase possible, which ultimately saves you money in the long run. Not only with a more quality product that's going to last longer, but by not having to experiment in and of yourself on your own, bringing in different brands, seeing how they stack up and compare. information's available, people have already experienced it, share it, help someone out. That's kind of the end goal. So once again, got these from Amazon for 30 bucks on sale. If they weren't on sale, I'd recommend going through KC Tool. I prefer supporting businesses like that as opposed to just some mass conglomerate. But from time to time with a mass conglomerate, whether it's Walmart or Amazon, you can get something pretty cool for a really good price, and that's what we did here. So that said, let me know what you think of this set. If it's something you've seen and used, if you've never seen it, what are your thoughts? Would you spend 30 bucks for this? And if you've ever struggled to find a 2.5mm in a set like this, and you do that more than once in a short time cycle, the answer is probably yes. But I really am impressed by these, excited to see how they hold up. I hope you enjoyed the video. The battery is flashing, so I'm going to wrap this thing up. Make sure you check out the website, LoneStarMopars.com. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Trying to do more on Instagram, including pictures that will tie in with the videos that we're releasing on that particular day. In part because I cannot count on YouTube to deliver notification that a new video is out, which is extremely unfortunate, which is why people subscribe and ring bells and jump through the flaming hoops. So make sure you do that, but if you don't, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram will have you covered to keep you up to date. These are awesome. Very nice job by Wera. Can't wait to see how they hold up, put them in use, and we will take it from there. So if you got any other questions on these, let me know. Like I said, very shortly I hope to bring in the SAE set. They're that impressive. I didn't bring them in together in the event that I hated them. After having these in hand, I'm quite impressed. So usually the initial impact, the initial impression serves me well. I think that's going to be the case here. Only time will tell. Stay tuned. If these are trash, I will let you know. I don't envision that being the case, though. So, once again, shout out to Wera. These are freaking fantastic, super impressive, and they've kind of got me excited to use some metric L keys for the first time in my life, so that says a lot. And, with that said, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.